Hey everybody, welcome to 2017-2017. It is, as we record this, Monday morning, January 2nd. And here we are, new year, fresh slate. I will ask for your indulgence a little bit this morning. I am on the recovering end of a rather nasty cold, so I appreciate that. I've got a few notes scribbled down here on a scrap of paper, so let's kick it off. I thought we could both look back at last year, look ahead to next year, and it's a good time to do that. The charts are off, and the alarms are silent, so let's do that. You may have noticed we've made a few cosmetic changes to the site. I actually maintain this myself. I do not contract it out. I'm the webmaster, for lack of a better word, and hadn't really touched it for some time. But I wanted to do a couple of things. I wanted to bubble up some of the content that I thought might have gotten buried, including the link to the Trading After Dark series. If you have not had an opportunity to check those out, I encourage you to do so. If you have, and maybe haven't looked at them in a while, and might be struggling a little bit, take a peek to see if they might be useful once again for you. They remain available. They're free of charge. The other thing that I did is I tried to tone down some of the formal education stuff. There's still a link to the webinars, but move some of that stuff down toward the bottom and get this more toward back to my trading journal. It's always a balance to let people know that there is certain information out there without it, becoming a little bit of a marketing effort, and that's really never been the intent. So I've tried to make a couple of changes there, and maybe for me as much as anybody, the top part, just trying to remind myself when I look at it anyway, that we all need to maintain an aspect of respect and humility for this business, and in my case, certainly purpose. In terms of anything that we do on the site or related to it, that it's done with good intentions. And again, that's a line that if we're not careful, we can cross and get to that other side a little bit. So I'm sure I've got more work to do there. But let's talk a little bit. Look back at last year. Wow, what a year! What a year on so many fronts. I think it's important for all of us to look back at last year with the data that accompanies it. And when I say that, I think that, I know that we all have varying degrees of success, and we'll keep that limited to the trading business for now, but certainly you can extend this to life. We all have varying degrees of success, and we all have different P&Ls. We have different results. For some of us, we may have had just a wonderful home run year, went well, bang, wow, year of the career, I call it. For others, might have had maybe a bit of a plateau, maybe a bit of spinning the wheels at times, more times than not, maybe. Perhaps a year of frustration. Maybe you were just waiting for that little extra confirmation. You had that little bit of extra self-doubt, either because of something somebody said to you or just you were in a rut and you could never get yourself on that profitable side, so you kept finding yourself retail over and over again. And maybe, frankly, you've had the worst year of your career. All of us are going to have the best year of our career, and all of us are going to have the worst year of our career, no matter what those numbers may look like. We're all going to have them. It's just a matter of extent. I'll address, for those of you that may have had struggles this year, I think you've got to look at it in one of two ways. One is, actually both ways. One of which is, what is this telling you about your ability to perform successfully in this business? And I know that's a question that we all have to answer for ourselves. We've all had to answer that question at one time or another. It's very well chronicled in the early part of my book where, fell flat on my face and I had to ask myself, can I do this? And had to make some tweaks to the business plan, to the transaction cost structure, to the way that I was looking at the business to get that turned around. Are we cut out for this? We're not all cut out to do this. Do we need to have someone else do it for us? Do we need more, education? Do we, what is that data telling us? Maybe God has given us a different skill set in a different area, and we keep wanting to plow in this area, and there are other plans for us. So I think we've got to look at it with that degree. I think we also have to look at it in terms of if we have proven to ourselves in the past that we can do this, or still firmly believe based on solid ground that we are able to do this, what happened? What happened? And objectively look at that data. Objectively look at that data. I've often referred to the P&L over the course of a year, whether it's day, month, week, whatever, as not gains and losses, but as income and expenses. And I view trading draws as an expense. And a natural part of the business. And the idea, of course, is to manage those expenses like you would manage expenses in any business. But a trading loss, a trading draw, even for the year, is an expense, and it's data, and it's telling us something. So the question is, what is it telling us? And I'll use my own experience this past year in terms of looking at the times where I sub-optimized results. And we talked about this a little bit at times. But as I look back at my performance, and I look ahead to 2017, where I want to make improvements is in those areas those areas outside of the market. We've talked about this before. John Wooden, we've referenced, and there's been so much written by many people far, far greater than I am, that the game is won off the court. The game is won off the court. The preparation, the personal balance, the focus. And where I have sub-optimized this year has been in those areas. And that has led to, during those particular times, sub-optimized performance. And where I have excelled in my out-of-market experience, if you will, I have excelled in my trading. And so I think that we all have to look at our performance. We all have to look at that data as an outcome, not good, bad, and different. I believe that we are all here. This is all training ground for us. I believe until the day that we breathe our last breath on this temporary place, that this is a training ground. And we are continually being taught lessons during this training period. How are we handling success? How are we handling stagnation? How are we handling setbacks? Okay. These are all lessons for all of us. And the older I get, hopefully a little wiser year by year, although that can be arguable at times, at least from my perspective. We should be seeing that more and more. And again, I don't want to get overly maudlin here at all, but it is indeed fascinating to look back when you see the retrospectives that are done on TV or whatever as the year approaches, and you look at all the lives that have been lost. And we relate to that because we can relate to these people because they are public figures and the names are in our minds a lot to some degree or another, for some reason or another. And so we can relate to that. And so you look back at it through those and at the end of the year and you realize that this is all temporary. This is all temporary. And so we are being trained for something far, far greater. And so, back to our performance in this past year, what is it telling about us? Where is it pointing us toward? Is it pointing us toward this business still, or this business in a different light? Or is it pointing us toward doing something outside of the market hours? And this is where, again, social media and courses and all those sorts of things really primarily address, the market, the pattern, the setup. And yes, those are so very important. But the game is won outside the court. What we don't see in the tweets, even mine, what you don't see, in as much as we tried to do this in this blog, going back now, close to a decade, and before that on other venues, we've tried to share this outside of the market experience. But even with my stuff, you can't do it. You can't give it justice. And so in these few minutes this morning, I'm going to try to give it some justice. The game is won outside of the 100 and some odd character tweet. The game is won outside of the moment where the market has moved. Now, granted, focus, motivation, execution, critically important. But it really is won outside. What do they say? Luck is where preparation meets opportunity. And we've talked about that before. And so, has this year, what has this year told you? Good, bad, or ugly? For you, what has this year told you in terms of your ability to prepare, your ability to be balanced, your ability to surround yourself with an uplifting group of individuals. You're relying on forces far greater than yourself, or in my case, my God. I have fallen short in that area this year. 2016. And it is at the top of my list for 2017 to improve that. And in doing so, improve those times in those areas in terms of the outcome, the tangible outcome that may result in certain P&L. And so, I think we can all do that. It doesn't matter what our results were. If you've done very well, if we've done very well, we can do better. Right? And I've said this before. It's not greed. It's the desire and the intent and the action taken to improve. That's what this is about. And that's why I think you see, and forgive me for citing this, but the Patriots, 14-2, successful again, and you can point to other franchises because of how they approach winning. They take lessons from winning. And I think I heard yesterday someone was saying that anybody can win one, lose one, win one, lose one, go 8-8. And the same thing can be said in trading, right? How many break-even scratch traders are we? How many times in our own careers have we gotten into that bit of a rut where we're just at a plateau and we're spinning our wheels? Anybody can do that. It's what do you take away from a win? And anybody, by the way, can come back from a bad trade. I think it's easier to come back from a bad trade. It is for me than it is to maintain that focus and execution. And desire for that next trade. We've seen that hopefully you've seen that out throughout the years here. So what do we learn from winning? That's the most difficult thing for me. And why it's so rare that you see year after year in the professional athlete business and industry, continued success year after year after year, because it takes a certain amount of, just throwing that last result away, aside from learning from the outcome and the data that it provides. Okay, so I would encourage you to take a look at last year, not in terms of did I do good or bad. Take those words out of your vocabulary for the time being. What does that data show you? What is it telling you? Because it's the only objective piece of data that can really tell you something that you really need to know. Okay, it's incredibly important for me, by the way, because, in this business with a public profile, it's so easy for me to get caught in the, oh, look, Don's a good trader. Okay. Yes, Don trades very well at times. Don trades actually very poorly at times if he's not prepared as he should be, as prepared as he should be. Okay. And so it requires me to go back and ramp that up. You can't tell me that. You don't see that. How easy is it for any of us to put up a mask of sorts in this business, behind Twitter, behind Facebook, behind a blog, even with all that we do, challenge, right? Challenge us, challenge me. Because we need it. The only thing that can truly objectively challenge us, that can in a way that nothing else can, is our own results. That's what should provide us the confidence, conviction, or scream at us in terms of something going wrong. And I've seen this where data, despite data saying one thing, people will believe something else. I've seen it in terms of my own successes, where people still can't believe I can go through a quarter without a losing day, or with 3 losing days in the course of the quarter that probably the best quarter I ever had. Nor on the flip side, when I am in my struggle periods and I am spinning wheels, I am plateau and trying to get over that hoop. Nobody can believe that because, well, Don's got a public profile. He's, made $1 million plus, he doesn't know. Yeah, he does have those experiences. So it's very important for me to look at my own data and have it tell me something, because it's the most truthful piece of evidence that I will be able to rely on. Anyway, enough of that. Okay, but I think we can take that forward. And what I'm going to be doing, by the way, is that checklist that's in the book and that we've published here a few times. I feel I need to expand that and enhance it one step further and put some out-of-market objectives in that, in terms of being centered, being prepared, being spiritually ready, being spiritually sound. I know with conviction that when I am, that my life goes far smoother when I get myself out of the way and I do what I'm supposed to do and I hold myself accountable for it or to it. And that's another area, accountability, right? Find an accountability partner in life and in trading. I don't think it can be more than a group of 3. But have a group of 2, have a group of 3 where you challenge each other. You challenge each other with what you're doing in your life, and you challenge each other with what you're doing in terms of your trading results, right? Because you get larger than a group of 3, I think you get into a situation where you're not as willing to be open, or you're not willing to be as open in the dialogue. You've got to find people that will have your back, that will love you and support you and encourage you and uplift you no matter what you tell them. You can tell them you just had the worst trade sequence in your entire year. You totally effed it up. Excuse me. You just totally effed it up. Or maybe you've done something in life that you stumble. Okay? You need somebody there that you can talk to about that who will still support and love you no matter what you do. And the same thing I think goes with trading. Find that accountability partner. Find that person that you can say anything to, and they will get it, and they will be there to support you. So, okay, that's that. What else? What are we coming up on here? 16 minutes already. A couple of other things, I guess. Just bear with me for 1 second here. I think I covered a lot of it. I would like to know how many folks might be interested in doing another live effort this year. If you could just email me at don@donmillereducation.com. We typically do these in either February or March. It's a week long. If we do it this year, we'll be doing a little bit more even so than we did last year with the Globex time frames and the catch remit sequences. I think that's an important area that we can add some strength to. So if you're interested, just let me know. I would appreciate that because if we have the numbers and the interest in doing so, we will. And if not, we'll just continue on our merry way. I think we're up to 14 or 15 now. I can't remember the number. The other thing I want to note real quick, and a shout out to, there's a new trading education site out there called Trading Courses Online, tradingcourses.online. And I want to thank those folks. I've been honored to have been selected as a flagship training program for that. Again, it's tradingcourses.online. They have gone through the industry and apparently have done some scrubbing and are trying to find and develop a site where they have put what they feel to be among the top educational programs that are out there. And through no searching out of my own, I was contacted, asked, audited in terms of the program, and I am honored to be a part of that. So if you're interested, they've actually carved out the webinar series in a way where you can actually view your progress as you go through it and a few other things. And there's some other fine products and educational services put out there by other traders as well that I encourage you to consider. I, at my end, am trying to look to those 1 or 2 courses for myself this year, either there or elsewhere, that I can continue to supplement my own education as we go forward. That's always a part of my budget this coming year. So thank you to those folks. Check it out if you're interested. Folks, I said last week we have a clean slate going into this year. What did your data tell you? Take a hard look at it. Be honest with it. It will be honest with you. Were you over trading? Were your commission transaction costs too high? Were you not using the appropriate platform? Were you not holding yourself accountable? Are you better at something else and is managing your portfolio better left to somebody else? The answer is going to differ for every single one of us, and so I encourage us to all look at that. In the meantime, have a great 2017. The canvas is blank. Again, we said this last time. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with the breath that you have right now? It's exciting. I don't care what kind of year you had last year. This is exciting stuff. This is exciting stuff. The ability to change and move on to the future. What a gift. What a gift. God bless you as you head into this year. I'll still be here. We'll try to do this in ways that continue to be helpful. And if not, we shouldn't be here. So anyway, take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye.